Computer. Lights.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday. So I'm being attacked by George. So George and the reason why I am slightly late today is because a small war has broken out between George and I this morning. See, George was under a chair, and I put my foot under the chair, and he attacked my foot, so I attacked his foot. So he attacked my foot, so I attacked his foot. So then I moved my foot out, and he tried to attack the foot that way, and then I stepped on his paw. Gently, of course. But that meant that he had to try to bite my foot. And then as I walked upstairs, he had to chase me and try to bite at my feet. This has been an ongoing morning ritual this morning. All morning, it's been going on. So he's over there somewhere attacking something that he thinks is my foot. Because he's a cat, and I think that in his brain, he gets furry fuzzy. I'm not sure. Anyway. So we're going to work on the local area. Right, cats? So weird. We're going to sit here and be frozen. There we go. All right. We're going to start up a couple of programs here because we've got to work on stars today. So you've come up with a name then, have you? I like Tormund. That's good. I like that name. It's a good name for a cat. Okay. Now, what we've got is, I will switch to the monitor. You can see here. This is now our local star map. We finally have gotten down to star map level. Here's the stars around Bellatrix. I now know a few things about these stars. I know that these two stars are quite unique and interesting because they're right across from an area called the Gap, which puts it into the wall exclusion zone. Prince Bane. Yeah, well, that's not true. Really, let's be realistic here. It's a cat. So we are going to work almost exclusively today with this let's go ahead and do this. We'll squish this aside too so we can get it. No, we need this one a little bit more. Okay. So what we've got is pretty much the unity lives in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's these squares through here on this grid. This is 200 by 200. All of these guys are all in that zone, and the Gap is kind of in that grid, and so is the exclusion zone. So my thought is closer would be probably all of these guys right through here. So we're going to take this guy, we're going to Control-Shift-E. We're going to crush it all down real quick. Let's see if we've got this guy. That guy doesn't tell me anything useful, does he? No. So he's going to go here. We're just going to take this zone right here. Copy. And say new. Whatever's from the clipboard. Paste it. And this is going to become our new grid. We're going to first increase its size just a little bit. And I have to keep remembering which program I'm in. I'm going to increase it to 5,000 by 5,000. And we're going to close this because we don't need to save it. And we don't need to accidentally save it the wrong way, too. Now, we still need to see what some of these stars look like, because I don't think I know where all of these stars really are. So we're going to first build this out. Okay. So I'm going to take this and say save as in maps. And we're going to make a new folder. And we're going to call this maps. Right. I'm going to go in here and say new things that they do. Star maps. This is one of those things that makes me aggravated like no tomorrow. Okay, Unity level 1. No, level X. Because this is the bottom-ish level X. Now, here's how this is going to work. We'll come over here to DAZ Studio. And we'll say create a new primitive. And when where's the control spot? Okay, here we are. Plane, world senator, world senator. Oh God. And we know we have 1, 2, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So this is 50 by 60, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go in here and we're going to say 50 meters, and it's just going to be whatever. It doesn't really matter at this point in time. But we have a 50-meter plane, which we'll zoom out on very slowly, apparently. Okay. And then we will, where'd it go? There it is. Bellatrix rising, down 1, over. I have to move it over here because it's bigger on this monitor. We'll go over here to maps, star maps, Unity level X. Okay. Now we have this, which says effectively there. I always need to remember what program I'm in, because I'm using Photoshop, and I need to remember Photoshop and the controls in Photoshop as opposed to the controls. This needs to be not that one. So now the map exists in a 3D space Behold, the map exists in a 3D space. Okay. Now that we've done this, we now can see in 3D where everything is, right? Well, not yet, because that's totally what we're going to need to build next. So that's us building next. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new primitive. We're going to get a cylinder. Okay, so its diameter is going to be 0.5 meters, so it's going to be smaller than the spots in there, and actually should be 0.25 meters. But its length is going to be, at the moment, 2 meters, right? Actually, we're going to make it 1 meter. Segment's 1, except or whatever. Doesn't really matter at this point. So we put it in there. Come on, wake up. There we go. And we center ourselves on it. And we now have effectively a post, right? So we can take this post now and go put it on each star. The first thing we're going to do with this guy is take this cylinder. I'm going to go to surfaces. We're going to make it black. Because in the end, this is going to be a post sticking up to indicate how high it is. So we've made it 1 meter. Each one of these is going to be 1 meter. Right? So we'll take you, and then we will duplicate you. And we will duplicate you. And all I'm doing is I'm putting posts on each one of these. Doo-dee-doo. It's so much fun when we do stuff like this, isn't it now? And this will start to give me exactly what I was looking for. Which is, I'll start to, hey, no doing that. I'll start to be able to actually see physically where all of this stuff is. As a side note, it would become one of those things where I should, best practices, number all of these guys the same way as these cylinders are, so that I know which ones are which. That'd be, good best practice. But, hey, why would I do something like that? So, now we have posts, right? Except for the ones down by the gap. Let's go on ahead and get those 2 posts over Add it. There. My program is Artist Anonymous. You're funny. It won't help. There's no cure for being an artist. We're hopeless. We're hopeless and helpless, unemployed in Greenland. Okay. Let's take a look at our Excel spreadsheet. There we go. And we'll take a look at number one. Number one is right here. Number one is 43 up. So all I'm going to do is take you, make you, let's see if this works. 4,300 work. Right, because it's 43 times 1. So we'll make that 4,300, and I might as well make it 3. Right? Number 2 on here. And this is where, like I was saying before, it would be useful to actually identify these the correct way. Wow, look at that. Way above the line. You're way above the line, man. Way above the line. Number 2. Where does number 2 live? Oh, I skipped number 2 because... No, I didn't skip number 2. It's Hudson's Light. Are you 2 or are you 12? That's CapJump. Number 2 is way over here in the gap. That's why we don't see him. Edit, duplicate node. That doesn't really matter. Okay. Your Y scale on Hudson's Light is -9. So we're going to make this 900. And then Hudson's Light is below. So we're going to go like this. Because it's actually below the line. It's below the line, man. So he lives like that. It'll make sense in a second. Three. 3 lives right here. And 3 is at 44. There you go. Try to hit us in the head. Don't hit us in the head. Smack. Okay. 4 is right here. 4 is Port Longfall. That's 4699. Work. 5 is right here. And that one's 5207. Right. And Bellatrix. Our beloved Bellatrix. Layer check with lines. Yes. Layer check, but with lines. Line check. It's 4866. Right? Number 6 is right here. 8. Or, screw it up. 6 is right there. Make sure we're still selected. 4, 8, 3, 8. Work. Now 7 is marked as like way out in nowhere's land, which makes me wonder why there's a 7 marked here. Like, if we're to take a look at this map now from the outside in, you can see that we have a number of all the stars are actually pretty high up. Who are you? If you're not 7, are you 8? I just don't know it. 6 would be 200 and 209. 8. So who else is at 200 and 209? Nobody really. It's like 3 or something like that. I don't know who 7 is. So we'll do 8 next because I do know who 8 is. 8 is 4827. 4827. 9 is 4943. It's one of those, I swear to you, it'll make sense. 10. I swear to you, it will be done. 10 lives where? 10 lives right here. 10 is 5, 3, 6, 9. Anybody else think that when Count Rugen says, I swear to you it will be done, he's lying? Like, totally not going to do this, the thing the thing that they wanted him to do. I mean, really, I just was thinking about that. We'll have to find 11, I guess. Because here's 12. Oh, yeah, 11's way out. This is gap jump 51. Where's my mouse? There's my mouse. 5, 1, 0, 5. Okay. And then 13 is here. 13 is 4, 9, 1. 14 is here. 14 is 4, 5, 4, 3. 15 is 4, 6, 4, 8. That's 18. Here's 15. 16 is 4, 8, 7, 9. 7, 9. 17 is 5, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if we can see 17. This is a big forest now. Did I decide the 17 was weird for some reason? No? 201, 209. All right, hang on. Hang on. You need me to stop. And we're at 17. 17. Maybe that's what 7 is 17. Because 7 was skipped. I think that's what's happening. Hey. 17. Let me double check that one. 201, 209, 2. Yeah, that was 17. That's why. 17 is really 52, 34. 5, 2, 3, 4. Work. 18 is you. And you are 46, 28, 4, 6, 2, 8. Work. 19 is you. And you are 44, 67. 20. We're almost done, guys. And you'll get to see what I was after here. 4, 5, 3, 6. 21. Is 4870 and 22 4847. All right. It's hard to see because it's difficult to perceive, but at the moment, what we're showing here is where all the actual stars now are in a 3D space, right? So we're getting better here. This is without the wall exclusion zone. This is just Unity, right? So next thing we need to do is create a sphere, a new primitive, and that primitive will be a sphere, right? And its diameter can be, I think 1 meter is fine. No, 2 meter. 2 meters is fine. Except. Oh, Illustrator has updated. Damn it, don't do that. Sphere. All right, we'll go up. And what we can do here is do a left view. And if we select the plane, we can use this tool to get kind of the whole thing. So what gets me is this one dude down here who's kind of like lost in his own little world, right? The question really is this the size of the stars we want to make, or do we want to make them a little smaller? And I think I want to make them a little smaller. So we're going to take the scale and do 50%. Then we're going to go to sphere, hit surfaces, sphere, base color, and then down here under emission color, and hit that, and then that should make it bright. All right, so we go back to perspective view, and this guy is literally that star right there. Come on, computer. It's not that hard. It's apparently that hard. This is really hard for it, apparently. We'll watch the blue spinning thing. Such fun to do in a show. There we go. So now we have one of the 20 stars placed on our grid. No problem. We're getting closer, right? some of these stars are going to be right on top of one another. And that's the important thing, right? Because like that's what I kind of want to know. Duplicate the node. What we can easily do at this point in time is look from the top down. There we go. These are rough. Like, I know that they're not totally close yet. Like that one's dead smack in the center of its pole. Doesn't need that. Actually, it's probably not a bad idea now that I think about it, right? Putting them into their pole would definitely tell me where they are relative to their post. Right, like this guy's nowhere near his post, but if he's here, he's on his post correctly. And then we will come back in a minute and fix it so that they are not, so that they're placed properly like this. Because then all I have to do is that. But if they start out in the middle, like this, I can at least place them properly. There we go. I mean, let's be realistic. It's not like I do this all the time. Now I can start seeing where some of these stars are relative to one another. And whether they're lopsided or not. Okay. Lobster-sided or not. And now we can start seeing some of these stars actually start to take place, take shape. This isn't the only magic we're doing today. Put all these guys into the posts so that we know where they are. Because once they're in here, it's pretty easy for me to replace them and move them up. Put this over here. Oh, hey, Brent, did we have Geek Tank last night? I wasn't available, so I don't know whether we had Geek Tank or not. Troy had said something on the group chat, but I had sudden meetings for NDK. Okay, thanks. So we will do that. All right. All of these guys are really clumped in there, I'm noticing. There we go. There. And that's our actual system in 3D. Nature Trail from Hell in 3D. This isn't the end of what we're doing today. In fact, it's just the beginning. But we're going to be doing stuff here. These are the core planets of the Unity right here. Right, now we can kind of see where everybody is in relativeness to one another. Let's change Bellatrix's color just a little bit so we can kind of identify that it's the capital. It didn't change colors much at all, did it? Good enough. Hot pink! Hot pink! All right. Here's how we're going to do this. What we have down here is a grid that's going to be the base grid. This is the center of the galaxy. So if you were to think of our galaxy as a pizza box, that grid sits right at the midline. So all of these stars are sitting up here above the midline, right, of the galaxy. And that's the point. It's kind of why I'm thinking that this star right here, that guy right there, is probably going to be excluded from this because I don't think he's part of this world. So let's go back over to Photoshop where we have this guy. What we're going to do is we're going to open the grid. Or, there we go. I'm like, or not. Sorry, 50 by 50 grid. Make sure it's the right size. That's what I was worried about. It would not be the right size. My 50 by 50 grid, which now just makes you feel blurry and uncomfortable. We're going to put at the bottom of this because there's the bottom of the clouds that are through the very bottom of the grid. So neon pink, neon orange. It's actually not a bad idea. I don't need you right now. Too many programs up and running. So the first thing we're going to do is this. We're going to go over here. We're going to take this. This is the main grid. Right? And if we turn this off, this master grid now needs to be inverted. Right? And then we'll take adjustments, desaturate, and then we'll take levels on this. And what we're doing here is darkening the grid out so that it's a black grid on white. Right? So we go till we pass the levels here and there. The little lines we want to be gray, so we don't want to go to here necessarily. Well, you know, maybe there's not bad. We'll go there. We'll go there. Meet me on the wall, meet me on the wall. Wall, wall, wall. Okay. Knowing where everything is at the wall. The wall comes up like this and comes over and arcs, and all the stars are right here in this like opening gap through the middle there. So we need to illustrate that. And how we're going to do that is complicated. Knowing that this is where this is, this part of the wall is below it. The middle here is right about here is the center of the wall on the grid. So we're going to take the grid. We're going to take the grid first. And we're going to duplicate it because otherwise we'll regret it. And then we're going to call this at galactic midline. We're going to kind of go through here and make a wall, a thing, right? This is the wall. This is the wall. And halfway between these two. So right about here-ish, right? I want to make sure that line's bigger. So let's do, I don't know, 12. Double that line. And this is where the wall passes the galactic center. Okay. The reason we did that was so that when we turn this off, this is what we're going to get at the middle of this, right? We're going to take this guy here, add a layer. We're going to do this, do that. Take this guy, make you about 25%. 25% works. Okay. Then we take all three of these, we're going to merge them together. So the galaxy is about 150 parsecs thick. So the galactic center has a positive 75 and a negative 75, right? Most of our stars are sitting at positive 40, 50. So they're at 2/3 of the way up to the top of the galaxy, give or take. So that's where we're going to be on this. And actually, I think that's what I want to write on here, just so I know it. So that there is some indication that we know what we're talking about here. What we'll do is we'll just write, like, seriously. Right, let's make this say a wall. It really is aggravating that even though the icon says to rotate, you see how it makes a shrink every time? You have to, I'm going to rotate this. You do it once, screw it up, hit delete, and do it again. That's the nature of the beast. And this wall is a wall of dust and high charged particles. So it's part of sort of it's a mess to try to fly through. So no matter what, our heroes are going to avoid flying through the wall as much as they possibly can. It's slow going, which of course, naturally, in the first comic, our heroes are assigned to fly through the wall. Why wouldn't you? That's where you go when you've made somebody mad and they decide that they're going to punish you, which is, sort of the thing. So there we go. The wall. This guy needs to be moved down to over. There we go. All right. Now we just kind of added that note. All of these guys now need to make one galactic midline. Still feel like maybe this should be less than 25. I feel like 20 is better. There we go. Call this galactic midline. This is all one unit now. Now here's where the trick comes in. Okay, because we're going to save this as such. I'm going to save as, and in star maps, we're going to hate and star maps. Gosh, I hope, Adobe, you are watching this video. Okay, this is Unity level, but this isn't X. This is going to be, so let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe, let me think, 5 levels up, 5 levels down, 5 levels up. Now, if it's 75 up and 75 down, total is 15 levels. I don't know if I want to do 15 of these things. So let's do this as, well, we could do 7 levels, right? So this would be level 4. So let's do 4. 4. Okay, we did level 4. We're going to hit OK over here on whether this should be this way. Then we're going to adjustments, invert. And we save as, Oh, for crying out loud. For each one of these is going to take us forever. So Photoshop has changed its properties again, and in order to make it fit with the Apple products, they've now made it so that you can't save as anything but TIFF and PSD. If you want to save as something else, you have to save as, then click the Save As button so that it'll bring it back up again so you can save it as a JPEG. So they've added a step so that you can save it as anything other than just a normal. I don't even know why they're doing that. That doesn't even, it doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Okay, we're going to go into my shaders here. Uber surface shaders are just your not I need the standard shaders. DS defaults. All right, so I just got the default matte. We're just going to apply that here. And the reason is because it actually is really kind of a pain in the butt to do these planes in NVIDIA Ray. It doesn't work as well. So this way I can just do ambient color like so, diffuse color, browse, and we're going to do Unity level 4, right? And that gives us what we just made, right? And then under opacity strength, I'm going to take this Unity level 4X that I did, and now you can see through it. Okay, so that gives me now transparency down there on the wall. You can see how far down it is to the wall. And I can take this plane, and we'll call this level 4. And then we will duplicate. We actually just got the we should take a break warning, so we will real quickly take a break in a second here. We'll go ahead and while we're at this, we'll save as the scene. And we will save it in the Bellatrix Rising Star Maps. And we'll call this Unity. Okay, everybody, you know the drill. We all must stand up. Oh my goodness. Goodness. When we stretch. We walk around. Walk in here. Walk over here. I have one lone penny in my pocket. Walk back. Okay. There we go. Come back here. Now we're back to work. Okay, now we're going to take this level 4 and we're going to duplicate it. And you'll start to see what's kind of going on here. Because I'll bring that level up. And what we now know, when we look at the parameters here, translate, the top level is going to be 7,500. Right? Which puts it way up here. if the wall were this high, that's where it would be, right? That's the top of the galaxy right there. So now we can kind of see where these stars live inside the galaxy. The wall isn't up there, but now we can go, okay, we've done that. Good job. So the histories, and we say, we can get rid of the merge visible, right? Because we need our master grid again. We actually don't. For the next level up, we're going to do this. We're going to turn on this guy, turn off that, turn off that, and turn off that. We're going to call this one 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, level 7. Okay, that's the top level. We know that this is the line at the top level, so we're going to, on level 7, just come in here and just do this. And the reason we're doing this in sort of mixed media like this, I like that. I like adding little like shoals and things. The reason we're kind of doing this mixed media is because I want to be able to see things like political zones. Right? We don't need the grid for this one. Or do we? Right? But this is the top level. So this is where the clouds are up at the top of the the galaxy. Now the truth of the matter is these clouds don't actually touch the top. So we should crown them. I mean, we should call this actually level 7 or 6. And then the next level up is just the crowns on the top of this, because the clouds are, they're going to be bumpy. They're not in. And in fact, this guy should probably be torn up just a little bit too. So we're going to kind of do a little bit like this. That's not what I wanted. Undo. Layer check. Come through here. Kind of do this a little bit of like open striation down below. Right. Now what we're going to do is just take this guy. I'm going to say save as. Save a copy. JPEG. Level 4. This is 5, 6, 6. Level 6. We'll hit image adjustments. Invert. Save as. Save a copy. I'll do 6x. And this will be here. And we will say, are you level 4 or are you? Yeah, see. Make you level 6. We'll go into your surfaces. level 6 right here. And we'll take the diffuse from browse. And we'll hit Unity level 6. We're still stuck over here. Let me do that. Okay. And then this needs to be browse level 6x, like so. And then this guy needs to be actually brought back to 6,000. It's still higher than where the Unity is, but you can definitely now see where the wall sort of sits out there. We're getting there. Now we got to take you and move you all the way up to the top. Or it'll move you all the way to the bottom. Okay. Fine. Well, what you do, you are determined. Sit down here. Fine. So what we will also do on this is duplicate node. This guy needs to come up to 5,000. This guy represents just below that. It needs to be halfway between that. So level 6. So if we're at 7,500, you can do this the hard way, or you can do this the easy way. I shall do this the easy way. 75 divided by 25. So every 25. Okay, makes sense. That's stupid, but it makes sense. So I don't know why I was having a problem with that. So that's each one of these levels should be at 50 above something. So this guy should be at 2,500. And this guy should be at 5,000. And then our last fellow will be, and it always does that one too. I don't get that. That's one of the things I've never understood. You duplicate it, it always selects the original, not the duplicate. Okay. This is 5. And we'll fix 5 here next. So let's get ourselves a 5. I'm going to go ahead and just merge these two together. There you go. And then we will do 5. We know we've got galactic midline there. So this level 5 is going to be right between these two. So we'll just do. Like this. Now the question really is, and this is where I was trying to figure stuff out. At level 5, we are still not in the way of the unity. But at level 6, we are. Which means that I'm actually going to want to go back in and fix level 6. Because the unity has no impact on this level of the galaxy, but it does have impact on this level of the galaxy. So the political boundary is going to be on level 6, which makes sense. Okay. Turn off that and that and that. We'll duplicate level 6, or level 5, I mean. We'll bork. So 20%. Right? Nothing's here, but these guys, like that. Now what we're doing is we're just adding to the map by putting in the political boundaries here. With political boundaries in place, we'll be able to see also some of the other dynamics of the area. We'll have to redo level 6. Doesn't surprise me. I knew we would. Knew there'd be something we'd have to redo. I need to real quickly go check the altitude of the things in the Commonwealth. They're generally one level below. So the Commonwealth is going to have to be below one level, so at 25. So when we do the 25 level, that's going to be a different political boundary. I always wonder, it always feels like it specifically does not do what you want it to do. I don't want to make it half ghosty. I think I want to be very. These stars in the wall exclusion zone are inside the wall themselves, but so it's a slow zone. It means ships going in and out of the wall exclusion zone are typically considered sort of stuck-ish, if you will. Kind of, they have to travel at slow speeds, and that means the people out there are kind of hicks in a lot of ways. They're stuck in these slow zones where they can't get supplies. They tend to live on their own and stuff like that, but they like to be under unity law, so they're under unity law. Two shoals here. Let's get a random character generator for this, a random name generator. know what? I've got like this as a specific doodly block. I've got a thing for it. I've got a thing for it, guys. It works. Or, not. There we go. Let's go to... Where's my really cool place that does... There we go. Fantasy name generators. I love this place. Places and locations. Cool. Places and locations. What do we call this? Coves, maybe like sea place names, continent names. Oh yeah. Oh, I like that. We can call this the Bosith Shoal, or the Bosith. They're speed zones. You're like, what is a speed zone? Well, it's where there's no clouds. So, like, everybody's really big on cloud one. Blapis lazuli. Okay, wait a minute. ACAS. Like ACAS. Now we'll take you, and we'll go like this, and we'll go like that, so that the word isn't in the middle of that, because that would suck. So, there we go. And we will take level 6 and turn it off real quick. Smoosh those together so they all say the same thing. Now we will say, no, really. This save as is save a copy. Go to JPEG is level 6. Yes, I do wish to overwrite it. And we will take this and torch it. Layer image adjustments invert and say save as save a copy JPEG. Do it. Yes. Wow, that's a lot of steps now. Thank you, Adobe. Okay, so we're going to do, that's level 6, this is level 5. Before I put in level 5. Level 5 is 25 up. So level 5 has the area around. So let's go ahead and put that into level 5. Might as well just do this thing. mouse control? Or are we thinking really hard all of a sudden? No mouse control. No mouse control at all. There we go. Mouse control. We are having a lot more of that these days, guys. All right. This is level 5. Save copy. Hello? There we go. Got a really powerful computer that really can't do this stuff. I'm going to just invert, save as, save a copy, JPEG 5X. All right, over to here. Level 5 surfaces. Check the surface. On this, the diffuse copy is browse 5, and its opacity browse 5x. There we go. So there's the Commonwealth of Stars down below it. So you can kind of now see where the Commonwealth of Stars lives. Let me make sure that your parameters say that you're 2500 up. You are. 6 should be 5000 up. It is. Now here is a trick that goes with Data Studio. Save. Give it a second to save. And we still don't have a function, which would be really useful, but we never get it. Or we could redo it, reload it. We need to reload the textures, and we never get that option here. So the only real way to reload the textures is to close and reopen the program. Actually, I will go ahead and close because we are locked up. Okay. So, how is everybody? pixels starting to go down, which is one of the things I gave command to do almost a minute and a half ago. There we go. I know that probably a good portion of this is probably you. So we'll close that too while we're at it, because I think that's part of our problem. We have too many it is always fascinating to me. It's fascinating to me how much resource we hog with the by using, because I don't even think it's remembered that it was loading DAS. It doesn't even remember it anymore. Yep. We just lost like 4 minutes waiting for DAS to come up. There we go. Now when you see this, we've got our political boundaries in line, which show us all of the important things that are going on politically, like the wall exclusion zone, the speed zones over there, the Commonwealth. One of the things that I just now sort of realized was, no matter which way we put it, all of these guys really need to be black. And the reason is actually because in the end, they're going to be dots on top of this map, right? And the background is going to be in a different way. So I just need to make sure that they're easily visible to some degree here, because what's going to end up happening is we're going to do this map in a way that's readable to some degree, like this. We only have one specific location left for this. We're going to actually add a camera. Create camera. The reason we're going to create a camera is this. Camera. You to bounce back. You to bounce back. Then we're going to do this. And this is because we can set the camera for depth of field off. And focal length, we can get kind of a flat focal length, like a 300 millimeter focal length. And if we turn off, well, we should probably turn on the perspective even with the 300 focal length. It'll take us a second to get kind of back here, but we should actually could do this though. We could select that camera. Ooh, who are you? You're the control for that camera. Okay, so where are you? with this sort of focal length that gives it sort of a little bit of a 3D sort of effect, we can turn the perspective off, and that makes everything really flat, but we want the perspective on a little bit here. We'll do that. There. Now when we render this, there's a lot of crashing there. A lot of not pleasant crashing. We may have... Oh, we crashed out Daz. Thump. Gone. We're asking too much of the computer now. I can tell already. So we're asking a lot of the computer, apparently. So let's do this one step at a time. Clearly, the problem is that I have a browser open right up here. And my browser takes up 40 quadrillion gigabytes all the time. Because naturally, why wouldn't you? If you can have all of the memory in the world, why not use all of the memory in the world? Nobody else wants to do anything else but browse the internet. So it wiped out all my comments section over here. I noticed that. Hope it didn't kick you guys from the stream. Let's do level 7 real quick. Level 7 is all up here on this top piece. So we're just going to make crowns. It's on top of here. Now the galaxy is spinning this way. So I'm going to make all of these crowns kind of operate in a way that looks like they are streaks going in the direction of travel of the galaxy. And that's what we're doing here. We're just kind of just like that. There we go. That's going to give it the effect that at the top there, it's kind of broken up. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead and turn you on there, and we will say save as, and then we will go through the process of save a copy, JPEG, and this one really is level 7. Up. And then we will Control Shift E. adjustment invert. They're 15 minutes early. I can't talk to them. So we'll do that. Save as, save copy. X. So now we've done this. I'm going to save as and save. Okay. Hello? This is Guy, yes. Yes. I'm sorry, I'm broadcasting. Broadcasting right now. So anytime after 11 o'clock, because I'm broadcasting for another 15 minutes. So anytime 11:30 is beautiful. Cool. Thank you. See you then. No problem. Bye-bye. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. They were going to keep calling until I answered, and I can tell that. Let's see. We're going to call this Unity map master. We're going to save it, and the reason is because I think we're going to have to kill the maps or kill Photoshop in order to do this. So we've killed Photoshop. Well, actually, kill my. Yes, I'll save a draft of that, and we'll kill that. So we've killed everything now. Let's get Daz up and running now. 15 minutes. I want to finish this. Open recent Unity. Oh, we lost our camera. Except. You know what? This is good enough. All of our spheres need to be turned a darker color. Surfaces, all the spheres, their base color should be, let's do them in, I don't know, dark gray so that they can be at least seen somewhat here. Their glossy color is black. Okay. And then their emissive color should be like a dark yellow. This means we can still see them, but they're going to come out a little darker than they, well, maybe even we need more than that. And maybe I'll make the stars a dark color, like black. And then the posts will make like a mid gray or a dark gray, so we can kind of see the difference between them. There. And that way we can still see the stars themselves, but the posts make some sense as to where things are. Right? We'll back up a little. Because we need one more level. This guy needs to be up. Parameters for you 7500 to indicate the top of the galactic doodly-wop. That's a technical term, doodly-wop. Level 7 surfaces are diffuse color browse. 7 for its diffuse and browse. 7x for. There we go. Now we've got a really interesting way of viewing this. And this gives me even more of an interesting concept and view of how to do this. Let's set up the render settings. First of all, we're going to do 3D Delight, and that's because we don't need iRay, right? We really don't. We don't need iRay for this. This is a thing. So if we tilt just a little bit like this, we should be able to render in. It has to optimize all of our images. Optimize prime. Okay, I'm done. But once it optimized primes it, there are all of our stars and none of the maps. Why are none of the maps showing? General. Well, we got there. We got close. We got really close, guys. Really, really close. So, coolio. We got very, very close to getting this done. Almost, but then we, at the last minute, got a glitch. So, at 7 minutes until the end, we got a glitch. We will. So, anyway, I will talk to you guys then tomorrow. We'll probably have Watercolor Wednesday. I want to paint this map. It's cool. So I kind of want to paint it. So I really kind of want to make it work. So I'll have to figure out why it's not rendering out anything. I'll figure that out. In the meantime, I will talk to you guys later. And as always, keep your eyes on the stars. Bye-bye. Computer, good night.